guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited for today's video. It is going to be a good old-fashioned collective haul, and I have to be honest with you guys, I have been on a bit of a bender in the month of June. So I have a full box of stuff to share with you. It's not necessarily all from Sephora. Like, this is full. It's not all from Sephora. I have some Sephora, I have some Ulta, I have some JD Glow, and then I also have just a few random things from Target to share with you, all that I have picked up this month and been saving to share with you guys today. This has to be like this judgment-free zone. I did want to, so this started with, let me just explain. I always have an explanation. Sounds like I'm trying to justify my purchases like I do to my husband. So to begin, I wanted to support some Black-owned businesses, companies, etc. Wanted to start to make the effort to incorporate more Black-owned brands on my channel and in my makeup collection. I don't know if I have mentioned yet on my channel, but my goal by the end of 2021, is to get my makeup collection to somewhere between 25 and 30% Black-owned, or at the very minimum inclusive makeup brands in my collection through attrition, not through just like decluttering and then buying. But I do have a bunch that I have purchased. If you can hear my dogs barking in the background, I do apologize. So that is where this journey began, and then I had so many Sephora points that I've been saving, and now they have the like $10 off if you like, you can use 500 points towards $10 off. So I'm not kidding when I say I made, I think, 8 separate purchases to Sephora so I could continue to use my points. And then I found out that they still randomly, very randomly, will do the $100 gift card for 2,500 points, and I was so mad when I found that out. But I still ended up with a full box of stuff to share with you guys. I'm really excited. I went a little buck wild in the bronzer and blush category, forewarning you. But if you're interested in seeing what I picked up from a bunch of stores in the month of June, like what month is it? Stay tuned. First, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I hope you'll consider subscribing before you leave today. I do post a minimum of 4 times a week, so if that's something that interests you, then don't forget to subscribe before moving on. And other than that, let's just jump into this haul. Alright guys, so I want to start with my Black-owned company products that I picked up, starting with this one right here. I knew I wanted to pick up something from Beauty Bakerie. I do own a liquid lipstick from Beauty Bakerie, a highlighting palette. I feel like I own other stuff from them, but I've heard really good things about their setting powder, so I wanted to pick this up to give it a try. And how cute is this packaging? It comes in like a little bag, looks like a little flower bag, which I think is absolutely adorable. And then inside is just the powder. And I believe this, okay, so this says, for a natural looking baked beat, try our lightweight matte flower setting powder. Great for setting makeup or baking, of course. So I'm not someone who typically likes to bake, but I was reading the reviews for this, and I feel like I read that this gives just like the slightest hint of luminosity, even though it says it's a matte setting powder. And as I look at it, it looks like it might give like a little bit of a luminosity. But regardless, I've heard great things about this setting powder, and I definitely knew that I wanted to pick this up. Then also from Briogeo, they just released their new Be Gentle, Be Kind Avocado and Kiwi Mega Moisture Superfood Mask. I love the Briogeo Don't Despair Repair Hair Deep Conditioning Mask. So I already knew I wanted to pick this up. And pick it up I did. I haven't even tried this yet. I'm almost out of my deep conditioning hair masks anyway, so I was going to need a new one, and I thought it was a great opportunity to purchase something from Briogeo, which is a brand I already love, but definitely to try something new as well. From JD Glow Cosmetics, if you guys have not heard of JD Glow Cosmetics, they are obviously a Black-owned brand online, and they have, I'm mostly interested in their single eyeshadows, which is what I picked up, but they recently released illuminating highlighters too, like highlighting powders, which I'm interested in. I think just because there are so many more people, which is amazing, trying to support Black-owned brands right now. They are sold out of quite a bit on their website, but I'm stalking them on Instagram for the restock dates. I know there are a ton of other single shadows that I really want to pick up, as well as the illuminating powder, and then They have some neon liners they just released, but the colors that I want are already out of stock, or maybe they're on pre-order but still out of stock. Regardless, highly recommend checking out JD Glow, and I picked up 4 shadows from them. This is like the most random palette ever. So the shadows that I picked up were this one right here. I want to swatch these for you because these are like intense and impressive. Hold on, let me... Okay, so this first shade is in the shade Peachy Keen, and it is, I believe this is one of their Galaxy shadows, and this is like a peachy shade with a green shift. So it is multi-dimensional and just looks like the coolest shade ever. I plan to film later today and obviously like take my makeup off and redo it, and I definitely want to play around with this shadow because it looks like one of the coolest shadows that I own. And then another amazing shadow that I've already played around with a little bit is this one right here. And I actually have this tapped on my lids right now. This is in the shade Good God. Such a cool shade. Again, a very cool multi-dimensional shade. And this one is more like blue purple. I've been having tons of fun with blue lately. So really, really happy with this shade thus far. And then another blue shade I decided to pick up because I felt like I didn't have anything like this in my collection. This is in the shade Bora Bora. And I mean, how fun is that shade, especially for this time of year. I cannot wait to play around with this one. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit intimidated by this shade, but I also just could not deny the beauty of that, so had to pick that one up. And then the third and final shade that I picked up, which one is it? I have these mixed in with my Gimme Glow. Okay, I lied. I only picked up 3 shades by them. For some reason, I thought I had a 4th shade, but these are the 3 shades I picked up from JD Glow Cosmetics. Again, I will link their website down below. A lot of their stuff is out of stock, but if you follow them on Instagram, they are working on a restock, which I'm very, very excited for, and definitely recommend checking out JD Glow Cosmetics. And then the 2 other items I picked up, I picked something up from Oma Beauty. I have yet to try anything from Oma, and I've been meaning to for a long time. And Samantha Ravindell always raves about the Woke concealer. I also thought that the packaging on their concealer is also really cute. So it says Woke, and it looks like a clock. And then I don't know, I thought the packaging was really cute. This is what it looks like. I picked mine up in the shade 2. They have a very, very extensive shade range, which I love, but I will say it was a little bit difficult for me to try and decide on a shade, and I may have decided on a shade that is a little bit too dark for me, but it might also be like the perfect shade for when I'm self-tanned. I don't even always like a super bright under eye, so even if this is just like my shade, that would be perfect. I feel like this actually could work really, really well for me. And again, I got mine in the shade T1 Fair Lady. Very, very excited to try this out. And then I finally did it. This one pained me, but I did go for the less expensive option. I was gonna buy something from Patmcgrath, and I really wanted to get the Divine Rose 2 palette, but instead I decided to pick up the Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection foundation because I did not think I had a foundation in my collection that was from a Black-owned brand, so I wanted to pick this up. I got mine in the shade Light 4. This looks almost like a perfume bottle. It's very, very fancy packaging, which, I mean, I would expect at the price that it comes at. This is really cool packaging. I feel like I actually may save the box on this. Samantha March always raves about this foundation. Oh my gosh, like the most luxurious packaging ever. This is the most I've ever spent on a foundation in my life. And let me see if I feel like the shade is gonna work for me. Ooh, it's super liquidy, more so than I imagined. It might be a little bit light for me right now, but I can also use bronzer, which I picked up 4 bronzers. That's super liquidy. I can use bronzer to make it work for me. Okay, very excited to try this out. Super excited because Samantha March always, always, always raves about this, and I personally cannot wait to put this to the test. Okay, so those are all the products I started with for picking up in terms of Black-owned brands. I already have a list of other brands that I want to purchase from. I just have to justify all these purchases to my husband because, like I said, I went a little buck wild in the month of June. Also, I want to be more supportive just to indie brands in general. So if you guys have any indie brands you recommend, please leave them linked for me down below as well. But jumping into the rest of it, so these are the 2 random purchases I have from Target. I actually went to Target to see if they had anything from the lip bar in my Target, which they did not. But while I was in there, my Target, I didn't even know that Target carried Juno & Co. But every time I'm on the Beautylish website, I always want to purchase this and then somehow talk myself out of purchasing in general. I wish I had the same experience when I was on the Sephora or Ulta website. But I've been wanting to try this for the longest time. This is the Juno & Co. Microfiber Sponge. And I got the Lemon Drop one, which I thought was the original. This is like the most impossible packaging ever to open. I haven't even opened this. They did have other colors. They had like a really pretty lavender, but I wanted to try just like the original like lemon one. Actually, I do have a microfiber sponge because I own the Real Techniques powder one, which feels about the same. But I use that one obviously for powder, and I want to try this one for foundation. I think I'm going to film I want to film a get ready with me, just like testing new products, and then I also do want to film a full face of black owned brands as well. So hopefully I can use this in my testing new products. This isn't from a black owned brand, but very interested in testing this out. And then while I was at it, I just decided to pick up the Sonia Kashuk makeup blender sponge as well. I haven't heard this talked about in a while, but I feel like I used to hear this recommended a lot, and this is going to take too much effort for me to take out, but it is a really big sponge, and I must have been in a buying mood that day and just decided I needed both makeup sponges. So I picked both these up from Target. All right, you guys, here's where it gets a little dicey. So we're gonna start with Ulta. So there are, to my knowledge, still no Sephoras that have opened up in Minnesota. The one at the Rosedale Mall, which is like my mall, was set to open on June 3rd, and then all of a sudden it just went off the website in general as for like an opening date. But an Ulta near me recently opened, so I was running pretty tight to when I needed to pick my daughter up from daycare, but really wanted to stop at Ulta because I just needed to go to a makeup store and I needed it for myself. So I literally had like 15 minutes and I was like buzzing around everywhere, looking at everything as quickly as I possibly could. And the first station where I stopped for some reason, like actually like halted, was Tarte. And I have had my eye on this stupid thing for so long because of the packaging. This is a complete packaging made me buy it. But this is from, I think, like there might be their sister, like Sugar Rush, I don't know, line. Yes, it is from their Sugar Rush line. It's a cream blush and it's in the shade Beaches and Cream. I have been wanting to delve more into cream products, which is why I could also justify this in my mind. Let me swatch it for you. I do feel like it's gonna be a really pretty shade, just a nice neutral shade, but realistically, I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, I purchased this because of the packaging. And while I was there, it was like the Tarte area was right next to Buxom, and I just happened to like glance over, and for some reason I feel like I've just always glossed over the Wanderlust blush in the shade Ibiza. You guys know Buxom Seychelles is one of my favorites, and I've been using Mykonos a ton lately as well, so I already own 2 of these blushes. And I just felt like I had to have this one because, you know, I wear bright pink blush a ton. When I got home and swatched this, I was like, probably not my best purchase ever. However, this is more of a cool toned blush, and I feel like I don't own a ton of cool tone blushes. So I'm not mad, especially knowing that I already enjoy the formula. But also, my makeup inventory is coming up soon, and I feel like blush is going to be out of control because as I was walking towards the register and I was down to like 5 minutes, I was like, oh, I forgot. I've been really interested in the MAC Glow Play blushes, and many of you have actually recommended these blushes to me in multiple different videos. So I bought 3 blushes that day because I really needed blush in my collection. I have a problem. I picked the MAC blush up in the shade, what shade is this? Oops, I swatched that with something I had already swatched with. So I picked this up in the shade Cheer Up, which is right here. I don't know how well you'll be able to see. This I am so excited for. So this has a really interesting texture. It's like a putty-like texture. Really interesting. I have not tried this yet. Those of you who have recommended this to me, how do you apply this? Do you use a brush? What is the best way to apply this? But I'm really excited about the shade for this. It's like a satin sort of formula, so it's definitely going to give a slight hint of a glow to the cheeks, but it doesn't have any glitter or anything running through it, and I am so excited to try this. But yes, in store I picked up 4 blushes from Ulta, and the ironic part of that is I had also received my Ulta order that day that I had ordered online that had that Oma Beauty concealer in it. And in that order, I had also ordered the Persona blush. So now we're up to 4 blushes that I purchased in the month of June. I decided to go with the shade Georgia. The other shade looked super pretty, but Georgia just seemed like a shade I would wear more often. Here it is swatched right here. It's just a really beautiful light coral peachy shade. I figured I would get a ton of use out of this. I know Kelly Gooch loves this formula, and I feel like this could become a new staple. Like this could be the new Buxom Seychelles in my collection that I can't stop raving about. But I did finally pick up the Persona, one of the Persona blushes. I've been wanting to try these for quite some time, so I'm very excited to put that to the test. And then also from Ulta, I had ordered the Buxom Staycation Vibes Primer Infused Bronzer, and I got mine in the shade Backyard Bronze. I go through a phase every summer, you guys, where I go a little buck wild when it comes to bronzer, and I just can't help myself. And I figured because I like the Buxom Primer Infused Blush formula so much, I was definitely going to love the bronzer. And the shade, the swatch online just looked like my ideal shade of bronzer. So it feels really nice to the touch. There it is swatched right there. I like how the swatch looks. It looks like it has a slight sheen to it, so it's not going to be a totally matte bronzer, which I personally don't mind. I actually like, I've been using my Hourglass bronzer nonstop, which has a really beautiful glow to it, but this looks like it's going to be like that perfect neutral bronze shade for me, where it's not too cool and it's not too warm. So I'm very excited about this. It is a little bit more of like bulky packaging, but I feel like it feels really like sturdy and would be good for travel as well. So very excited about this one. And then I forgot, while I was in store, I needed brush cleaner so bad, and my Sephora orders have been taking forever to get to me. I get why, because of still COVID, but I did pick up these 2 little Ulta Beauty brush and sponge cleansers, and I've used these already, and they seem to be working really well. So that was everything that I had picked up from Ulta, and then let's wrap it up with Sephora, and this is where it gets really wonky. So as mentioned in my Ulta wrap up, I had already purchased 4 blushes, and from Ulta, from Sephora, I had picked up an additional 2 blushes. So I really want to start doing like brand dedicated reviews on my channel, and not like a Tarte brand dedicated review. I want to focus on brands that are smaller, have less SKUs, so I can review almost the whole line. I have Kosas that's almost ready to go. Glow Recipe, I've tried everything. I'm really interested in Tower 28 because they don't have that many SKUs, and Ilia is another brand that I'm very interested in. So I picked up my first product from Tower 28, and this is one of their cream blushes in the shade Beach Please, and I am super excited about this shade, you guys. This truly looks like perfection to me. I truly cannot wait to try this out. So again, this is from Tower 28. You guys will have to let me know if you've tried anything from Tower 28 and what your thoughts are. They don't have too much. They don't have a ton. Their highlighting balm, I don't know if I'm gonna love that, because I've tried like the Ciate Dewy Stick, which to me they look very similar, and I didn't love that. And then also their bronzer, their cream bronzer, just looks very glowy. So I'm a little bit on the fence on those, but I am really excited about the blush. And actually, speaking of Tower 28, I also decided to pick this up off Samantha March's recommendation. This is the SOS Save Our Skin Daily Rescue Facial Spray. I just got the trial size because I wanted to see if it was something that was going to work for me. When COVID started and we had to start wearing the masks at work every day, I was dealing with a ton of chin and face acne, and still I definitely have some texture around like my mouth that I normally don't have. Yes, I'm that bougie girl that has to wear makeup even still with her mask, because otherwise I would literally not be getting use out of my makeup collection at all. So I wanted to see if this would help clear up some of the problems that I was seeing around my face. I feel like it has been better. I haven't started testing this yet. I feel like it has been better, my texture and acne, but still, like, it's still there. So I want to see if this can help prevent it, and it's just another item for me to try from Tower 28. So really excited to give that a test. And then the last blush I picked up in June, ridiculous, you guys. I know, 6 blushes is ridiculous, but I really do love Kaja as a brand, and this is a new product to their line. This is the Juicy Watermelon Cutie Bento Blush Duo. Now, I will say, just for comparison, this is tiny. It is the exact same size. If you guys have seen in store or if you own their eyeshadow trios, they're the exact same size. Very small. By the way, I also picked this up in June. This is one that I've been wanting to try for a really long time from Kaja. This is my third Beauty Bento eyeshadow trio that I own now. This is in the shade Poppy Champagne. Ooh, this one looks so pretty. Let me swatch these out for you. Sorry, you guys, I feel like I'm bouncing all over the place. Like, I start to talk about one product and then I bounce into another. I do apologize. I don't know. I'm getting swatches everywhere. There's the trio right there. I just thought it looked like such a fun, vibrant option. And I really love these trios. I think that they're really, really going to be great for travel if we ever are able to travel again. Fingers crossed 2021 looks better than 2020. But I've had my eye on this one for so long. I did decide to finally pick that up. And then, like I said, I picked up this new cream blush duo, and my hands are so gross. But, ooh, that feels super creamy. You'll be able to see my awesome tan line from my watch. So there is the first kind of more muted shade swatched. It feels really emollient. I hope it sets down and doesn't remain sticky. And then the other shade in here looks super vibrant, but I feel like I've seen a couple of people, I feel like Mel Thompson maybe, I might be wrong on the person, I feel like I recently saw her try this out and she put this on and it was definitely more muted, even swatched, yeah. It looks a lot more muted on the hand, so I'm really excited to try this one out too. I feel like I have quite a few new cream blush options to be putting to the test, so really excited about that. So yes, I went a little bit ham in the blush category, and then I really didn't do any better in the bronzer category. So I had picked up that Buxom bronzer, and you guys, I had my eye on the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer from the moment I saw the teaser pictures, and then $55, I was like, I thought it was going to be $45 because that's how much their airbrush powder is. And when I saw that it was $55, I had talked myself out of it because I was like, that little pan that you're going to go through so quickly for bronzer, like, I'm just not going to do it. But then I saw Samantha March haul this and realized that the pan size is actually quite large. And I instantly bought it. Shame on me. So this is what it looks like. I've already swatched this, and I have never felt a softer powder in my life. I have no room left to swatch this. I don't know how well, yeah, you probably won't be able to see that swatch at all. So I went with the shade 2, which is medium, and this is what it looks like. I feel like I would expect a medium shade to be a little bit darker, so I'm really glad that I went with 2 as opposed to 1. It has a really nice mirror. I have not put this on my face yet, but holy moly, what a soft powder. I am so excited to try this out. This is definitely the most I've ever paid for a bronzer, and I'm a little embarrassed by it, but it's so luxurious, and I'm so happy to have this. And then, like I said, I've been very interested in Ilia. This has been on my wish list for a while when I had all those points. Again, I was like just putting one thing into my basket, redeeming my points, and then I'm gonna stop trying to justify this. So I did decide to pick up the Ilia bronzer. I had this on my wish list, and then I also have gotten comments that this is a really nice bronzer. This is in the shade Drawn In. This is newer to their line as well. This definitely isn't as soft of a powder as the Charlotte Tilbury. Again, I don't know how well you'll be able to see it swatched like in between my blush shades, but again, this looks like a really nice, this one almost looks, it looks very neutral. I was going to say it almost looks a little cool toned where you might be able to contour with it, but it looks very neutral, and that's really what I look for in a blush, is a really nice neutral shade that isn't going to pull too warm on me, because that is when we get a little dicey and I don't end up liking the way that my makeup looks. So I'm really excited to try this. Next on my list from Ilia is their highlighting powder. You guys will have to let me know if you've tried that before, but really excited to try this out. And then it doesn't stop there, you guys. When I saw that the Tarte Mini Seychelles cream bronzer came in a mini, I obviously had to buy this. Actually, I did decide to put this in my cart when I decided not to get the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer, but then, as we know, later I decided to pick that up anyway. But I've seen really, really good reviews on this as well, and this feels super creamy. I don't know why I swatched it on my middle finger, but feels super creamy, and again, looks like a nice, this looks like it's a little bit more warm than neutral, but sometimes I like that in my cream bronzers, so I'm really excited to try this. Again, this is the size of the mini. I feel like that's plenty, especially for cream bronzer, which I'm not always reaching for, but I do only have one cream bronzer in my collection, which is kind of why I was interested in adding another one. I also am interested in trying the Nude Sticks cream bronzer formula. I think that's probably next on my list in terms of cream bronzer, but pick this one up from Tarte. It doesn't end there. Like I said, we went ham. Samantha March has also been raving, and I've seen her with this on her face quite a bit in the last couple of months. This is the Pillow Talk Beauty Light Wand Highlighter from Charlotte Tilbury. Now, I do own their Glowgasm, like, glowy blushes, and it's not my favorite, although I have learned to like it more than I did in the beginning as I've learned to enjoy and appreciate cream products a little bit more. But this looks absolutely stunning. I don't know if you can see the swatch right there. It just looks like the most beautiful highlight ever. It has like, oh, it just looks so pretty. I cannot wait to use this on my face. I really want the contour wand as well, but for some reason the highlighter was calling to me more than the bronzer. I think because I don't really have much for cream highlights in my collection either, so wanted to add that. From Kaja, I've also seen Julia Musicato rave about this, I think, newer lipstick formula from Kaja. This is their Earhart lipstick, and I also want to do a full dedicated brand review of Kaja, which is why I'm picking up so many Kaja products. So I got this in the shade Sweetheart, which is right here. It's like a cool toned pink. And I have worn this on my lips. The first time I wore it, I will say I don't think, oh no, I ruined like the heart shape with that swatch. But it does have a really cute heart shape. So the first time I wore this, I didn't feel like it was the most long lasting, but I put it on and then like immediately went and ate, which could have been part of the problem. But I loved the shade, and this was like so lightweight and comfortable on the lips. So aside from wear time, I was impressed the first time I used this. I also picked up another Kosas lip oil. I am pretty much ready to film my Kosas brand review, and I have been in love with the lip oil that I picked up. So I almost picked up all the rest of the shades, and then I was like, no, girlfriend, you have way too many lip products in your collection. So I decided to go with this beautiful red shade. I believe this is in the shade Jaws. Yep, Jaws. Looks so pretty. Thought this would be so perfect for the summer, and this is so comfortable. So even though it's a very intense red, I haven't put this on the lips yet. I have a feeling it's going to sheer out some, and it's just going to look almost like popsicle lips, which I feel like is just like, I will be wearing this on the 4th of July. So very, very, very excited about this. I don't know, you guys, I just have like, this has been like a standout product for me this year. I have really enjoyed the Kosas lip oils. I have been watching Robert Welsh. I think it's either Walsh or Welsh. I don't know why I'm blanking right now. And I've been getting some really good makeup tips from him, and one thing that he is a stickler on is using an actual eyeshadow base rather than concealer. I've always just used concealer rather than an actual eyeshadow primer or eyeshadow base. So one that I heard him recommend was the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer in Eden, and I believe Samantha Ravndal also recommended this like years ago, and I've had it on my wish list for quite some time, so I did decide to finally pick this up. Maybe we can step up the eyeshadow game. We'll see. But I am excited to have this in my collection because this has been on my wish list for years. And then the last two products. So this was in my like recommended for you, and this is from, I don't know how to pronounce this brand. Is it Innisfree? And this is their Dewy Glow Mist, and it was $18 for 4.05 fluid ounces, which I thought was a really good deal. And I thought, hey, I love glowy setting mists. I love my Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Mist, but it is really expensive. So if I could find a less expensive alternative, that would be amazing. Plus I can try this newer brand. I don't know if it's newer brand, newer to Sephora, or not at all. But I could try a brand that's new to me. And I have been using this. It is a very fine mist, similar to the Glow Mist. I'll spray some on. It does have a really nice light cherry blossom scent, which actually does not bother me. However, I feel like I don't notice much of a glow with this thus far. I'm obviously going to continue to keep using this. I actually was thinking this might be a really good option for a replacement of my MAC Fix Plus, even though I don't know if I could ever be without the MAC Fix Plus. But I used this one day to just like in between makeup steps set down my powders, and it added just like the slightest, like you almost couldn't even define it, hint of a glow. Not enough to like finish, but just enough to like make me feel better about the powders on my face. So I'm gonna keep testing this. I'll let you guys know what I think. Good deal. I just feel like I get more of a glow from my Glow Recipe Mist, and usually at the end of makeup application I'm looking for more of a glow. I feel like now I'm going to watch this back and be like, oh, that added a ton of glow. But the final product is one from The Ordinary. This is a skincare product, and this is the, oh shoot, I picked this up off of a recommendation of, I think it was, she goes by Penny. I forget, if I can find her, I'll link her below. Samantha March did a collab with her talking about like skincare products that they love, like their top skincare products from brands. And then I fell down a rabbit hole of skincare videos, and I heard her recommend this. This is supposed to be like facelift in a bottle, and everything she said about it, I was like, I need this in my life. So this is the Argireline Solution 10%, and it targets the appearance of dynamic facial lines. So I haven't started to use this yet, but I think I might do before and after pictures of me using it for like a month just to see. But yeah, have you guys tried this one from The Ordinary? I love a lot of products from The Ordinary, and I'm really excited to add this to my collection. But after that, you guys, whoo, that concludes this very large June haul. Again, judgment-free zone. Don't judge me. I know it was a rough month. Thank goodness I'm not doing my low buy anymore. Maybe I need to start another one. But I'm very interested in, one, supporting both Black-owned and indie brands, or just lesser-known brands. I do know I picked up some things from like Tarte or like Buxom, but I want to branch out and start testing things from brands that like are newer or just maybe don't get spoken about as much. So I'm excited about all my purchases. My wallet hurts a little bit, but you guys will have to leave me a comment down below and let me know what you're most interested in seeing reviews on first. Maybe seeing me test out in a trying new makeup video. I would love to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for sticking around to support me, even though I am a chronicle makeup overspender, and here we are again with me buying too much makeup. Anyway, you guys, thanks for sticking around to watch and support my channel, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.